Sister attraction of Great Glen Trails is the Mount Washington Auto Road located just across the street. We've caught up with Meghan Moody Schwartz, who's going to tell us about how you can experience the Auto Road. Thanks for joining us today, first of all, in this beautiful setting. Not too bad, huh?
The office view is a lucky one.
Yeah, well, when you see Mount Washington from North Conway or any of the surrounding towns, you can always see that summit. It's so alluring, so inviting. And one of the ways you can get up there, you've seen the bumper sticker, is via the Mount Washington Auto Road. So what are the options for getting up there?
That's great. So the Mount Washington Auto Road is actually America's oldest man-made attraction. We're entering our 163rd season this year. And so we are a 7.6 mile toll road to the summit of New England's highest peak. You can either drive yourself, bring the family, bring the dog, visit the sign at the top, the famous sign in the state park and the Mount Washington Observatory. And you can also, if you don't want to drive, we can drive you. So we offer 2-hour guided tours where you have some awesome and talented characters who know the history and the road itself more than anybody else. And they share their experience along the way. And then you get to, adventure around the top, and then we'll drive you back down.
Both options have their advantages. I like the guided tour, actually, because you don't have to worry about driving. Both people, or however many people are in your party, can have their eyes on these amazing views. Yep. And there are just so many jaw-dropping moments along the road where you're around a corner and you're like, oh my goodness. It's like you can't even believe you're in the Northeast.
There is a oh my gosh corner tagged on the road as you go by what is Jefferson right behind us.
It is absolutely beautiful. And the attraction of the Auto Road, it's not just the summit itself. There are so many kind of things to stop and see along the way.
You're right. Just like everything else, it's about the journey. So we have different pull-offs along the way. If you choose to drive yourself, we have an audio guided tour, so you can still learn about the history and ecology around you. You go through 4 different ecological zones as you drive up the Auto Road. So you'll see the changing of the trees, different flora and fauna. You'll see some wildlife along the way, and there's so much to take in.
And it's not easy to keep the road this way either. One of the things I love is there's actually a museum behind the stage office that shows kind of the history of the Auto Road along with some of the vehicles that have driven in the past.
I almost think of it as a transportation history museum because we have everything back from a carriage that was brought up with 8 horses at a time up the Auto Road, predating cars, and then through the history of transportation to now. And so, all those different vehicles are so wonderful. There's a lot of history about our events and different first ascents on the mountain as well. Yep. Being the first to do something on Mount Washington is definitely appeal for a lot of people. We are open for daily operations now. The Auto Road opens at 9. You always want to check what time it closes. It just depends on the light in the year. So around 4 or 5. To go up the Auto Road itself. We have a road status page that you can always check on our website where all that information is available. And it's always weather dependent because it's Mount Washington, which is home of the world's worst weather. So it's always good to check in on the road status, but open daily to the public.
Very good. And you have a full calendar of events. You mentioned the Auto Road, the hours depend on light, but even that isn't true because there's a couple of days every year that you open early for sunrise and late for sunset, right?
That's true. So there's 2 mornings and 2 evenings in the summer where you can come and experience the most memorable sunrise or sunset of your life. So again, you can drive yourself or you can take a guided tour and just take in everything as far as to the Atlantic Ocean, up to Quebec. And the colors that you see are not something that we get to see in the natural world often. So
it's nature's painting for sure.
We also have our kind of iconic races up the Auto Road itself. There's the Mount Washington Road Race where folks run up, and then later in the season, Tin Mountain hosts their biggest fundraiser of the year, which is the bicycle hill climb.
And that attracts cyclists from all over the country looking for what is North America's toughest hill climb.
Yep. And then we also host events for other partners like the Mount Washington Observatory. We couldn't do our job here and provide safe passage up the Auto Road without their live updates of weather and conditions and reporting. They host their big fundraiser and after party in our event field. It's called Seek the Peak, happening in July. And it's just this awesome community event. Everyone's super excited. They've fundraised, they've hiked. There's a bunch of vendors, there's music, there's prizes. Really feel good. So definitely check that event out. I know registration is still open.
Meghan Moody Schwartz, thank you so much for joining us. We're here at Great Glen Trails and the Mount Washington Auto Road. Make sure, get up here. It's just a short drive from North Conway and other surrounding towns. Route 16 in Pinkham Notch, New Hampshire. And the websites are?
mt-washington.com and greatglentrails.com.
Easy enough. You're watching Outside.